Hello, Two Shot fans, and welcome to Welfare Talk. Yesterday, technically it's actually the day before, I got really drunk with some friends. Why did I get drunk? Was it because I owed a cameraman some alcohol for helping me film a music video? Maybe that was part of it too. But it was the second episode of South Park. So that means you gotta get drunk? Like, yeah. So here we are talking about South Park. The Tolkien episode.
God damn it.
That pajama one had a really good concept, and I did actually like it, but I don't know, I thought it started kind of slow, even though the whole Garrison boyfriend thing was interesting. I felt like they should have put that like later in the episode. They should have, I don't know, just for some reason felt a little weird, like it was too tried. And then at the end, of course, I don't know, there were some guys in jail or something. The pajama thing, it was pretty good, but I just felt like it was still a little flat. It just lacked a little bit of that punch that South Park can bring in classic episodes like, oh, you know, Chimpokemon maybe?
my penis is so smooth.
Or Mark Zuckerberg. Gerald, bro, my brain. You can't block my style. Right? But anyway, this was a good episode. I really laughed at it. The Tolkien thing, like, Tolkien.
Hey, Tolkien, I have something I have to tell you.
Stan's voice, man. Stan's voice. People are talking. Stan's voice sounds like it's just like a little dry, like Trey Parker's just getting over a cold or something.
My point is, we need to petition the school to make Tolkien required reading, to better understand our classmate.
But Randy didn't really sound different, except in a few parts, actually. Sometimes he did too.
If they're friends, then we need to be friends, huh? Do you mind if I post this? Check out our friends.
Then there's the first episode, Mackie did. So these are weird things right here. Is Trey Parker's voice changing, going through a second trimester puberty? 140th trimester puberty? That's an old South Park one. 140th trimester? Usually you don't have that many. Oh, there's the episode. I'll just watch it on my illegal site here that I go on. My highly illegal site. Like the whole business thing. I love how they brought in Tally. Oh man, that one part. What was he doing there?
Black puppy bitch, black puppy bitch, white puppy bitch, white puppy bitch.
I know.
Okay, so they're at the cannabis expo thing here. Cannabis cultivators expo.
And legitimacy of its uses.
Let's go weed!
Let's go.
Token Black Productions.
Let's pause it here. Can you imagine that? Like right away, what I thought of when I see this, boycotting cannabis growers that are only white owned. Like you have to include. This is like the Academy Awards. I think it was last year. So okay, so that's coming up this year. So it was. I think it started just after or just before they came up with this thing where they said a movie now has to have like at least one black actor in it or black major part of the film production or something like that. And it's just. Like, for the people that I can hear in the back of my head going, oh, what, you're against black people? It's like, for God's sakes, dude. Like, what if you wanted to make a movie like Stand By Me and it only had like a few white characters in it, you know? Kiefer Sutherland could have been a black guy. It's like, Kiefer Sutherland can't be a black guy. Kiefer Sutherland's as white as it get. Have you ever seen Flatlanders? He died. Your skin gets really white when you die. All right, so that just disproves that theory completely. Let's continue.
That their marijuana be grown by those who understand the fight for social equity.
Social equity.
The bottom line is this. A completely white-owned weed business these days just isn't going to survive.
I don't like that there's so much of this like reverse racism. Is that what they call that? Like my day is spent like this. I wake up, I watch Ottawa convoy protest, worry about COVID, Ottawa convoy protest, gay porn, and worry about COVID. That's like my day. I think I eat once in a while.
Hey.
You know, Peggy Hill was my favorite character, I have to say, in King of the Hill. I'm serious. She's edgy. She's like a...
You know, I don't even care what it says because this test is absolutely Oh, yeah!
Strongly prefer the company of black people.
Well, you can't argue with results, Hank.
And King of the Hill is in fact coming back, so I thought I'd just pass it on to you. We'll try to include some links or something like that. But Tolkien. You know, I got a lot to talk about this episode. I mean, Tolkien, like, how do they change it? How do they change it? Did we ever see his name written down? Actually, we did. Carlos, run the clip.
Token Black Productions.
He's chubby, he's filthy, and he's just a little bit nuts. Here he is, America's new sweetheart, Fatty Doo-Doo.
Fatty doo-doo.
Who's that scooting on a scooter, fatty doo-doo? Who's got doo-doo like a fatty scooty-doo?
That was a good clip, and we showed that Tolkien was written the old way, so there is a continuity error. You know what, though? In all seriousness, it's kind of weird because they have the Tower of Sauron, you know, with the eye and everything, and that little game that they're playing, Tolkien and Stan, at the end of the episode. And I said to myself, to my friends, I said, look, that I put that in my video like 2 days ago.
I see.
That's right, good job, Carlos. And you'll notice, Carlos, I'm working with people of minority brown skin color, Spanish ethnicity, so my business is not tainted with the stain of racism. That's right. Black Lives Matter.
Token Black Productions.
Okay, so I'm just thinking, is it possible that South Park maybe was snooping around? Oh, here's that Derek Two-Shot guy. He's really funny and no one knows about him. It won't really matter if we take his awesome idea of putting the Tower of Sauron in Ottawa and then throw that into a board game. Here, it's a totally different story. We're not ripping anybody off. Cute. Here's a little theory I have, though. Kenny. Do you really know about Kenny? What do you mean about Kenny? You mean about like in the post-COVID? Another thing, one of my awesomest music videos was called The Post-COVID. When you search that, though, you won't find post-COVID music video by Derek Two-Shot. No, you'll just find all this stuff about South Park and maybe a few things about... So, Kenny dying is what I'm talking about. Okay, they killed Kenny, you bastards. One of the earliest... That was one of the biggest hooks, you know, grabbers for South Park in the early going. But why? Why did he die all the time? I mean, like, where do they come up with the idea? I've looked, and I've seen people say, yeah, because, you know, like, he just dies and then comes back. I'm like, yeah, no, I know that, but where did they get the influence from that? Like, the Shimpokemon thing with the penis, they talked about that guy. And there's an interview where they talk about him saying in a bar that, you know, the guy they worked with had this boss, and they were in the bar in China. They went to China just so they could say they went there, they said. And they were in this bar, and this Chinese guy kept laughing and saying how his penis was small. But I remember there was an older interview that was longer. They were talking about it. The story, if I could find that, the story gets more detailed when the guy right in the bar apparently pulls his pants down and shows this tiny penis and makes Trey Parker or Matt Stone, one of the two, touch it. As he says, it's so small, your penis is so big.
Japanese penis so small.
So small.
You Americans have such humongous bulbous penis.
You can see how there are many real life situations that transform into stories as like, you know, everywhere. But where did Kenny's dying come from? You know, I made this story. I used to write stories and stuff, you know, like with the pen and the paper. So I was like 12, 13, and I was writing these stories. I had like 3 kind of shorter stories. I don't know, they're like 30 pages maybe, so like let's say 90 pages total. Maybe it was longer than that, I don't know. Me and a buddy in school, we'd write them. We'd take turns writing these stories. There was ones we had, The Adventures of Rolly and Corny. I'm the one that had the stories. I wish I could see those. The thing is, like, when I was younger, you know, certain music, Guns N' Roses, certain things, you know, I don't know if I want you to listen to this anymore, you know, because it's swearing and stuff, and you'd be in a bad mood and be like, oh, you shouldn't listen to that music. You know, it's normal. It's normal, right? And of course, I thought, if he finds these stories, he's going to think I'm like a demonic, like completely warped, and just send me away to some crazy, you know, Siberian boot camp, which of course was tradition in the 1990s.
Welcome to Tolerance Camp. You are here because you would not accept people's differences.
I lived in a Ukrainian descendant community, a place, Doukhobors, they're, you know, Ukrainian, in Castlegar, British Columbia. So Siberia, and that's what people did there, is they sent their kids who were misbehaving away to Siberian boot camps. Anyway, so I thought he'd find him. So I was in Kelowna for the summer of 93 or 94, I think it was 93, and I threw away in a dumpster the stories. I never saw him again. The thing about it is, one of the things, I don't remember a lot about the Adventures of Rolly and Corny. In my mind, the only thing I can remember is they resembled probably most closely to Beavis and Butthead. You know, and Beavis and Butthead had just come out, I think, in 93, I think. But I don't know if we saw them the first year or two, either because I didn't have the channel or because they weren't in Canada yet. I don't know, because I started watching them in 94 when I started hanging out at this buddy's house, my buddy John Armstrong in Castlegar, because he had the channel, I guess, Much Music, and that's when we started watching them. They were like the newest thing. The stories I had written were before then, though. And on every page, here's the thing, on every page, Rolly died. Are you seeing what I'm like? The next page, it wouldn't be like he's back. It would just be as if nothing even happened. You know what I mean? Like kind of like Groundhog Day, which hadn't also happened. That was a '94 movie, so there was no Groundhog Day yet to take off of either. Obviously, there's no way some kid in Kelowna, BC, Canada, where I threw them away, that somehow gets down to Colorado. I want to know the truth. If Trey Parker and Matt Stone sees it, you have to come clean, and I should be owed $5 billion. Mic drop. My brain. Oh, my brain. Now you lie over there, dead. I think now I want to eat some food.